Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. I hope it's good. I'm Gankins, welcome to the video. This is just going to be a short series of informational things that will help you better your console life on City Skylines. I hope you enjoy. Make sure you leave a like, comment below and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the video, because I certainly enjoyed making it for you. Have a good one. Number one is highway connections, the backbone of your city. The very spine that feeds the traffic along and into the heart of your metropolis. Now, we all know that we have cities in City Skylines that can very quickly go from being a haven for a new family in a quiet suburbia to a gridlock nightmare. There are three simple ways to avoid this. Even with the limitations of consoles, we still have the ability to create a spectacular free-flowing interchange that will change your very life. Maybe not your very life, but maybe just the city. The first being showcased, as you can see, is a triple swirl. I created this on a live stream not too long ago. Although it seems complicated at first, at first sight it's actually created very simply by toggling between the grid off and on menu, and by matching simple parallel lines. This interchange utilizes long curves, and it keeps the traffic at an almost constant speed, and that is the key. So thank you, Jacksepticeye, for your infinite wisdom, and may you forever bless us all. The second interchange is a no-brainer. At first, its hidden features. It will surprise you. Even the most veteran of City Skylines players like myself use your in-game highways, those preloaded ones that you have in your menu. Just adjust them. It's amazing what an extra lane can do to your tailback. It's also amazing what an extra 20 blocks of units will do for your on and off ramps. Utilize these assets because they will make the world of difference. The third interchange is almost as much of a no-brainer as the second, but a little more simple. Creating second on and off ramps, sort of treating your highway more like a spine, simply makes a difference to the flow of your traffic, even your income to a degree as well. The smoother traffic, the smoother the traffic is, really, the better it flows in and out of your industrial areas, your commercial and your residential zoning. So utilize them. Number two is your tricks for districts. If you're a long-time player of City Skylines, or you've just started out, you won't be a stranger to zoning your districts, picking your policies and deciding whether you want free transport, no bikes on sidewalks, or if you're a monster, school's out. You should really think about the kids, man. It's just rude. But zoning is an integral part of making your city shine. Zoning can be broken down into three basic components. First, decide if you're going to be using high or low density zoning. That can make a difference to your populace. Making that call can seriously change what the difference between a thriving, educated suburb and an uneducated, crime-filled mess can be. The second thing to consider when zoning on that district is what you want from it. The menu is daunting, yes, but once you get used to it, it's actually quite simple. By toggling through those menus, you can choose whether you want people to utilize the free public transport. Do you want them to be residents only? So use Newtown. It's as simple as that. Make that change to suit your very need, and that will change the district. The descriptions of each policy will obviously pop up as you scroll through them. But the third and most important one is aesthetic. Vanilla houses are gorgeous, sure, but the quaint European suburb and self-sufficient green communities can make a world of difference aesthetically and visually and even monetarily. Even picking farming or oil or IT cluster can shape your city and its income forever. So pick wisely, but make it personal. Number three is a very simple one, but very complicated equally. Number three is your trains, trams, and all of your transport. A tricky subject to touch on, I know, but can be easily resolved. Each mode of public transport has its uses. Here's a brief overview from me of what I use my transport for. Trams, I use them as a means to transport around the CBD. I use them more as a local transportation in a high density area like the IT clusters into the CBD, or even if you've got your tourism in the middle of the CBD, I use that to collect the people and move them around in that area. I usually use them in a secular way, so they more go around the area, but the larger the area, obviously, the more you're going to use. This now, of course, can be done as well with the monorail, which is a fantastic addition through the Mass Transit DLC. Of course, along with that, you get your cable cars as well. Now, here's the big one, the buses. Buses are simple but dangerous for moving your Sims around. Although effective and can quickly become a stronghold for your transportation system, it can also become very inefficient. I use the buses to do inner and inter-suburban transport, simply by moving people around from suburb to suburb. That way, ease the traffic flow on your spines and your main arterial roads through your city. Although it's effective, it, like I said, can become very inefficient. The trains, however, the trains can be quite difficult, and in the oddest of ways, they can also be more effective than most. They, of course, use the tourist thing, how you can have an interstate train station, but at the same time you can link that now through the mass transit DLC to do your intercity transport through trains as well. But much like the buses, the more you have, the more likely you're going to clog up. So think ahead, plan ahead before you do it. If you're not careful, you will clog up your lines, and it will happen super quick. So build and plan ahead, and that will make the difference. Terraforming. This is a big one. Number 4 is terraforming. Before you terraform, have a few things in mind. Do you want it sloped? Do you want it smooth? Are you making a set of hills? Are you, for example, right now making a huge mountain by scratch or from scratch? Are you sinking the highway? What is your purpose for terraforming? As you can imagine, terrain manipulation is tricky. On Console Edition, you'll find that it's somewhat limited, but if you take yourself to the load game menu, you'll find that you have the option to actually toggle on and off unlimited soil. This is a game changer. Being able to understand and comprehend topographical maps isn't necessary. You don't need a degree in moving, but having the basic understanding of how mountains are shaped, why hills flow a certain way, why is this shaped this way at the beach or in a much more intense terrain situation, it can seriously make a difference. So your best friend is Google Earth. Be creative, but also again make it your own. Parks and Parklife is number 5, with the availability of Parklife. Being able to make whole theme parks and zoos and nature walks is fantastic, but don't forget that you have ploppable parks. These cannot be neglected. They're at your fingertips, or for us on the console, your thumb tips, but that doesn't matter. You of course have your zoos and your theme parks and your lovely tours and all the little bits that come along with it, but you do have your ploppable parks. The Parklife capitalizes, I think is the word I'm looking for, on the ability to generate revenue, but don't miss out on placing your basketball courts or your beautiful dog parks next to your schools or in the middle of your suburbs or the bird and bee haven next to university to give it that little bit of extra pop. I'm, of course, saving to have my $60 quadrillion to make an entire city of parks, and it's going to be fantastic. But having a park next to your residents so that they can do something when they come home from their work is going to be fantastic. What I'm saying is basically prepare to spend a lot of time making parks. Your neighborhoods need them, your cities need them. And again, think of the kids, man. Come on. Number 6 is natural roads. A very strange sentence because roads aren't natural, although they're made from natural materials. How very strange. But I'm very aware of the fact that grids are very easy. I mean, look at my cities. They're mostly grids. But sometimes you just want to make a suburb look suburban, not like a colourful grid of rainbows and traffic jams, but simply toggling between the grid snapping, the road guidelines, curvy roads, straight roads, freeform roads, all of which you can find on your bottom tab and in your menu. You have at your fingertips, and again, more like thumb tips for us, but the ability to create something of your own, something unique, or even more so, natural, or as natural as a road can get. Unless it's a dirt road, that's a little different. Number 7. We spoke about zoning before, and now it's time to generate some sweet simbucks, or money, or currency. Whatever it's called, you're going to generate it. So, you have gone to your zoning tool, and you want to make farm park, industrial farms park, or whatever you're going to call it. Now it's time for you to take your farm by simply going to the zoning tab, by going to the industry tab there. You click on your desired industry park, farming, oil, forestry, you're farming again, and more farming, because we're about green cities and being efficient. No polluting. Polluting's bad. We'll get to that at some point soon. But you're welcome, Earth. I've got your back. Number 8. Number 8 is a simple, but also oddly complicated one. You've got to take all the previous things I've said and tie them up in a neat little bag and have them by your side and nibble on them. Nibble on them when you need them. Weird euphemism, but stay with me on this one. Everybody wants their CBD to be perfect, their central business district, flowing and dense. But the truth is it doesn't have to be this gridlocked, horrible metropolis of pain and noise. No, you can make something out of it by zoning the blocks at any point, in any square or any road that you like, with IT cluster, normal office zoning, hotels, leisure even. Hell, I mean even normal high-density commercial and other zoning makes for a fantastic skyline. But why not take it a step further? So go over to your third left tab at the bottom of your screen and scroll through. You'll find an abundance of buildings at your exposure. You can just throw them everywhere you want, but think about it before you do. How do you want your city skyline to pop off the map? Make it your own. Pick those buildings and build around them. Maybe just this once. Maybe just this once. The next one kind of encompasses 2, so I apologize. It's kind of near 10, whatever. So the first thing I want to point out is Corrales said the beautiful words of chocolate milk. Avoid the chocolate milk. You now have green alternatives to your city. Pollution is a no-no. Well, it can be a no-no. It doesn't have to be a no-no, but it should be. You now have at your exposure your Green Cities DLC stuff, like your beautiful green electricity plants like your solar updraft and your geothermal, or the non-poop pipes. That's an option too. You also have your green zoning in your industrial. Yes, of course, your industrial, your residential specifically as well, and your commercial. Keep that all in mind to make your city green. But if you don't want it green, give up and throw a meteor at it, because then you can sit back and laugh maniacally as your city falls to the might of your meteors of doom. But the second thing to follow that up is your menus tab. Very simple but very dangerous to move around because you might click the wrong thing. Holding down triangle is your big one because that sends you to a series of menus. Have a scroll through, take some time to read it all, and of course you got your bottom menu tab. If you have any questions about them, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm always happy to answer them. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you did enjoy the video, and I hope it did you a world of good. I know it wasn't exactly what you were expecting to see, but I hope it helped. But if you have any ideas, I'm going to jump right onto them. Just drop them in the description below. I have the description. You drop them in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video, because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming. It's going to be good fun. Make sure you share it around. Make your dog watch it. I dare you. But most importantly, make sure you go and subscribe to City Skylines as well for their following content. They have great informational videos going on there. Follow us both on Twitter. It's going to be in the link in the description below. Again, thank you. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. Fantastically good. I'm Genkins. Thank you.